Heyo! Welcome to Benchwarmers WOSO podcast, episode 5. We've made it.
Half a decade.
Half a decade, yeah. A Leggy messaged me earlier this week, went, half a century. We'll get there. But yes, it's been another week, another pod, another week of WOSO.
Another interesting week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for you. Are we going to start there?
Yeah, I think we have to.
We always start in England, always start with the WSL. That's why many of you listen. We are going to talk about the first game of the week, which was Arsenal Women's Football Club against Aston Villa. And look, this game made us both look like a mug because we both, like, I don't want you guys to win, but
I do.
my stakes are on the line here. Like I've said, you guys are the competition. Yeah. You're the rivalry. Yeah. And now you're stuck in 6th because of this.
We're behind Spurs.
Yeah.
This is a devastation beyond I can comprehend. I think, look, the game basically showed why Arsenal are just still incapable of, I think, winning the league. And I think that is such a damning statement right now. And I understand that it could be seen as like very reactionary post-result. But I do think this is points again dropped to an opposition that top sides would just exploit. I mean, we saw it with Chelsea. I don't necessarily think we'll see it with United long term, but I do think right now they're picking up the points that are necessary. I think, I initially joked that, Arsenal need to go down in a game to actually show their class. But it's like, if the other team doesn't want to score, which Villa, I don't think necessarily wanted to score. I think based on the result, this is a good result for them. I mean, this is 2 points now that they've picked up. This is another point that they've picked up.
Yeah.
Right. They haven't won a game, but they've picked a point up against, practically title contenders.
Yeah.
And they didn't need a goal.
No, absolutely not. It was kind of game over. And look, I'm not going to give you guys immense amounts of credit, but the first half performance was convincing.
Yeah, sure.
You did create a lot of chances. You probably should have scored more than once. I felt like there was limited agency to go forward with the ball, mainly because of the starting lineup, which I'm sure you'll get into. But when you look at the way in which you had this flurry of attacks, it always makes me question how Arsenal goes into games now, because I mean, you have started slow in games and then come into response with a barrage of attacks, but not in the same way. It wasn't like attack. It's more it's counter pressing. It's working off the opponent. I felt like this was the first half where you were actually choosing how you want the game to flow for the first 45. I can't really say the same about the second, but I want to know what your thoughts were going in after the 1-0. Marnham's just scored.
Yeah, look, I think the 1-0 was inevitable. I think, when we press so high and so well against a Villa team that, much like the rest of the competition, seemingly want to play out from the back, even if they don't necessarily have the players to do that.
No.
And I think that the goal was inevitable. The press was good. I think from about that minute on to maybe around the 30th minute, I thought we were bound to score a second. The whipped ball in that saw Beth hit it onto Frida, who narrowly missed.
Oh, the edge of the box. That's 2-0 right there.
I think that should have been a goal. I think then we went into game management mode just way too quickly. I think that we thought, okay, well, Villa have this quite good mid to low block that is working effectively.
Yeah.
And, the very Arsenal thing to, just walk it in the back of the net, they tried to do, realized that it was probably not going to happen. And just now we're just going to do quick little passes around the box, practically like just use up all the possession and not give Villa anything. And then what happened was the second half.
Yeah. There's a lot in the second half to talk about. I mean, I do want to talk about your flanks. So last game against United, you kind of just really abused that right-hand side.
And we still did.
And I feel like nothing changed other than the personnel, right? So you had Mead at the start on the right, who then flipped to the left after about 15, and then I don't think I saw her for the rest of the game.
No. Yeah. And that was I think purposeful. I think that we basically exploited that right-hand side because of the fact that we identified and continue to identify that right-hand side as a stronger, more direct side. I think even WOSO was moving to the right-hand side. You know, when she'd pick up the ball, when she made that whipped-in cross to the left in the first half, that all came from the right. It's like we're using the right both as the attack, as the maker of a build-up play. I think Emily Fox has been given license to just do whatever she wants.
And I think that's usually come to your benefit. I think as much as I don't rate Emily Fox to the level that I know Arsenal fans definitely do, but I think she is the only one that looks like she's being given that license to, because the creative flair of so many of your best players, specifically if we're going to get into her first 4 games of the season, Mariona Caldente, you can tell that obviously she's been threaded into this new deeper role, but is it something you want? Is it something you want to see? Is it how she got into the second place in the Ballon in the first place?
I think I mentioned this to you a couple days ago. I think what Mariona needs is just a good patch of form further up the pitch. She needs to start getting goals. I understand that she's got 2 assists now in the league. I think it's important for her role right now to be that metronome in midfield. I understand that. I understand what Renee wants to do. Frida is playing a higher number 10 role because WOSO naturally comes and defends. Frida doesn't do that. So she'll push on and she'll be our pseudo 9, right, when we're out of possession. But I think what Mariona needs, and this will not come through personnel change. I don't think the midfield actually needs to change. I think it needs to come through a systemic change in the way that we're playing, to play just far more attacking and direct football. I thought we did that against the weaker sides like London City and against West Ham. But even looking back on those games, it is just the fact that we actually played very similar. It's just those teams capitulated far better and far better for our standard, for our benefit than Villa did. I think
it's tough because Villa's. I mean, I don't know if it was part of Arroyo's plan, but the Hansen sub,
the best
the middle
thing
of the
that's
game,
happened in that
just
game,
opened
basically.
up that second half. I mean, I do want to give credit to D'Angelo as well. She made, I think, 6 or 7 saves.
Well, 19 shots. I mean, and then 6 on target.
Yeah.
I mean,
so 6 saves, because you ain't saving Marnham's shot, but you have to save the shots you get, and then in the second half they kind of just weathered the storm.
Yeah.
And Parker subbed on, Hansen subbed on. They started getting little flaky chances out the back in transition.
I feel like exactly in transition, they were able to cut through, much like the other teams. To be fair, our midfield
that's how they get the first goal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like essentially we're playing so far up the pitch, not willing to make that final movement, that because we're so far up, it takes us then, yonks to get back when we need to defend.
And then it's also incredibly disheartening when you see players I mean, as much as I know this, it's hard to say in hindsight, but players like Blackstenius left out of this game.
Yeah, and
is it? You don't know if it's injury. I don't think it is.
Well, we just didn't respond. I mean, it took us 85 minutes to take Beth Mead off. She was practically useless from the 30th minute onwards. Yeah. We needed that acceleration.
And she's been a great impact sub for the 30 minutes.
Exactly. Why aren't we playing Chloe Kelly? I mean, I don't necessarily think she's even a starter. I think she's actually also better off the bench. Yeah. Caitlin Ford is a starter and has been a starter for Arsenal for the last 4 seasons. I'm so confused, this idea that we're playing her off the bench. Is she injured? I don't understand.
It's just, there's a lot. It makes you question how well does Renee know her personnel. Does she know her best 11? I don't know if she was trying to micromanage this game because Champions League's coming up.
I think she thinks she knows her best 11 and she's going to stick with that. And I understand that she wants consistency. But one of the things that Renee talked about coming into this season was using her toolbox. I haven't seen the use of the toolbox in the games that mattered. Against United, against Villa now, I don't think we've used that quote-unquote toolbox, our subs, effectively. And that's not bringing on a Kyra Cooney cross. No. That's not bringing on a lot of Wubbenmoy for rubbish minutes either.
The Wubbenmoy sub was very much like lock in. Like let's defend this corner, and
we
we're
also
done.
did it on a set piece. Who's doing that
Yeah,
professional football?
Yeah, not as much in the women's game, but you do see it. You do see it in the men's. So, but it's very much like I don't know. It is just. It does feel like there is this disconnect at the moment when you're looking at like how Arsenal want to play and how Arsenal fans think that their players are basically going to run run the game based on their own qualities.
The construction of our team lends itself to being played in a particular way, a very direct, fast attacking style of football.
100%.
And that's not foreign to Arsenal. I talked about this a couple of pods ago. We used to play some of the best attacking football, not just in England, but in Europe.
Yeah.
It was fast, it was direct.
Fluid.
I understand the appeal of wanting to play football that tries to tease the defense, in this case Villa's defense, out of their shape. It worked even when Emily Fox in the second half got practically where a number 9 should be.
Yeah, it should have been. It should have been. That also should have been 2-0.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like there were chances there.
Again, one of those goes in and we have a different conversation.
I just don't understand why a 35-year-old Kim Little is doing far more offensively and defensively than some of our best players, even in the forward line.
Yeah, and it questions the isolation and questions what does Alessia Russo want to be this year. So she's now got 2 goals, 2 assists after 4 games.
Yep.
A player that I personally expect to get 20 goals with this kind of service around her.
She was getting 20 goals with United.
Close to 20 across the competitions.
I mean, she had Katie Zellum as her 8, and now she has Mariona as her 8.
Yeah, so
there's a market difference.
Exactly, but it says more about how Renee wants you guys to play, and it also shows that you guys are built for tournament football rather than league football at the moment. But the blips will add up at the end of the year, and that's the question.
I guess the good thing is we haven't lost a game.
Yes.
I guess on that Alessia point, and even with Mario, I guess the big question for me coming out of this game was this the game, and were these the moments that just show why a player like Aitana Bonmati wins the Ballon d'Or?
Maybe. I personally, I mean, we discussed it at length last week, and I think the answer is just would Aitana let this kind of thing happen? It's just there is just an abundance of leadership in the back half and the front half that is missing from Arsenal right now, which is funny because it's not an age, it's not an age experience thing. It's a when you need someone to run the game. It looks like your players don't know where to look, and maybe that is Leah Williamson. I
think this is from the top. I think I hate to say this, but this is really reminding me of this time last year. I think we have an identity, but it's really hard for us to put it in practice when I'm not going to say it's not collective buy-in, because I think it is collective buy-in.
No, of course,
but I think there is a tension there with how players want to play. Like Caitlin Ford naturally wants to play a specific type of football, and I don't think she's playing that with the Renee system. I think Mariona the same.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how we look at Arsenal across the year, especially with the margin between you and Chelsea. It'll be interesting to see whether you look at this game.
I don't want to be looking at this game and be like upset that I don't want this game to be the reason. Like we go on and have a really good season, and it's this game of all the
it's
games.
not a good look, especially with this week coming up. I think that might air out some missed grievances from last week and weeks before. But again, it'll kind of depend on how you match up with Chelsea and when we get to those games later on in the year. But I think that's all we really have for Arsenal at the moment. Now we're going to move to my team, who had 2 games this week. We had a League Cup game against Everton. It was pretty routine. I mean, for a game with 4 goals, I don't think there was many excessive highlights other than the goals, really. We did control possession as you'd expect us against Everton. I know Everton are a bit of a bogey team, but they didn't really play their strongest team. Neither did we. The only the players I want to shout out: Jade Rose, first goal for the club in a cornery scramble. It was a goal, not magnificent, but again, good to get your first name, first goal and name on the score sheet for the club. Hasagawa, pretty rubbish goal as well, but again, good to be in the right place. And then Viv scoring a fantastic goal. Yeah, just loves the cup game. Comes on. I think Bunny was on, and then they swapped at like 65, 70. And Viv basically in her first flurry of moves runs on to a Benny cross. And Bene was playing in left wing for some reason that whole game, and doing the business from the left side, Did
you like Viv playing basically on her own?
Yeah, 100%. It's night and day. The two, I don't know, the two of them, unless they're in a two up front together. Yeah. I mean, Viv in the 10 again. The creative. It's kind of similar to the way we were talking about Alessia last week, just playing a natural 9 deeper because of their creative abilities. The reason they have the creative abilities is because they're in the 9, because they can drag defenders out of place. Yeah. If they're playing with their back to the defender compared to playing with their front to the defender, the speed at which they play is slower because they're not bouncing left and right. They have to look at the defender. They have to find the gaps and the angles, and it's not the same for them. But again, scored a fantastic header from up front, copped a consolation, and that's really it. I don't really want to talk about the League Cup that much because we'll get there when we get there, when it starts mattering more and you guys start playing. I know like LCL won their game against Palace. That's all that really needs to be mentioned. They needed
Nikita Paris to come on for it.
Exactly, yeah. So good for them beating a WSL 2 side.
They don't need the cups. They need to focus on not getting relegated.
Exactly. We'll get to them we'll get to them properly now as we pack them in. Yeah. Thank God.
This is the most satisfying result.
Oh,
I don't support any other team. I don't care but when a team is playing against London City, you have to root for them.
Oh my God. I was like, I don't mind if we lose to you guys this coming week, 5-0, just batter these lot. And look, the first 5 minutes, we kind of did the Brighton thing again. I don't know. It's like we can't. I know we're third in the league and we're one behind United, and if we win this week coming, there's a chance we could be second or first, whatever. We can't win the league at all. We can't be near challenging for the title playing how we did against LCL because lesser teams with lesser teams with better stamina will pick us off.
Well, this is the argument with Arsenal as well. It's like, if we are playing this particular style of football, right, it's not conducive long term, and it's just going to encourage Chelsea to just run this season easily.
Yeah. No, it's a shame that they're the only ones that look like they're in this immense semblance of control. For our game, that first 5 minutes, we're trying to flurry, we're trying to make these passing lanes, and when it's 0-0, the aim is to not make it look hard. Is to make it look. To make it look easy, force it out, and again, as I've said all the time, you have the strongest striker in the league sitting there, aerially and on the floor, and you have an incredible aerial threat in Miedema as well in the 10. If Yama wants to bomb it up to them, that's who's there, and we can work our press off that pass, which is what we need to do instead of allowing Gracie Pryor to just drown in isolation when she has the ball because they work off her.
I just find that when you do make those options though, it's Viv who's always making the runs. It's like she's the sacrificial lamb to keep Bunny as centrally occupying the two centre backs, not necessarily exhibiting that much effort. But still we're in the final third.
But when I'm making that bomb pass, I don't want Bunny to press off it. I just want Bunny to occupy enough space so that it slows down their press. It's not a we start the press off the bomb. We're going to make them work hard for the header, and then when they recover the ball, we can press with our wingers off that. And it doesn't really work when you don't have the personnel to do it, which right now we don't. But I have to make clear that Grace Clinton starting off on the left was quite weird, but she did quite well because she didn't really play on the left. She just kind of moved centrally. Viv kind of swung across to give her some yardage and some space to run and carry the ball. And then it was our flanks that ran the game. Completely ran the game. In the first half, it was Kasparai. The second half, it was Uabi. It was genuinely like pleasing to see because both of them had pretty average summers. And Kasparai is now just running the Barclays,
she's
mate.
the
Moonbeam Barclays, mate. She's three man of the matches, I think, out of our 4 games. She's defending well, which is a weird sight to behold. It's that connection
with the midfield and the attack.
And then her and what's it called? Her and Yui. So Yui kind of drifts left and right, but when Yui drifts left, LBB goes right. And then when LBB drifts left, Yui goes right. And I always think LBB usually is the one receiving off Kasparai, and then Yui is the one giving it to Kasparai. And I think either way, that triangle of the three of them is just fantastic. She always makes the right overlapping run, and that was 1-0. So Clinton had the ball central, dragged the ball from the left to the centre, fed the ball right. Kasparai, perfect whip onto Miedema's head. That was 1. And then the corner came up, Yui's cross, AG took the chance, I believe, was deflected, and then Blenkilde Brown on the score sheet, which was fantastic as well.
I find this midfield very interesting. You have Blenkilde Brown, who's, the novice in a very experienced midfield.
Yeah, she's playing like the one who is the experienced midfielder, which is really good to see. I think she's definitely going to be looking for more England minutes sooner rather than later. But again,
her and everyone.
hard personnel to come up against when you're looking at Walsh and Stanway, who don't seem to look like slowing down at all. But that was 2-0, and then the press started again. So they started pressing off Pryor. Pryor makes a mistake. Paris capitalizes. They're 2-1, and there was a sense of fear, but also I don't know, the semblance of fear wasn't.
There is no fear with London City. I have
I thought they would get. I thought they would get chances, but unless Paris is shooting the ball, I didn't feel like there was much on it.
Godfrey was pretty much useless. I don't think they got anything from the left. I think
Goodwin's one of those players that's like, unless she's dead set in front of the goal, I don't think she's going to bury big chances. The only player that was giving me quite a threat was Keris Brown from the right side. I feel like she had the better of, again, Clinton wasn't playing off the left, so she had that license to just outpace her on that left side.
Did she replace Shana in this game?
I believe so on that right side. Yeah. But she just ran the show from that right side. Uabi had to do a lot of work to switch up with Greenwood to...
I found your press to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Especially that midfield kind of going into the final third. I felt like...
Interesting.
I felt like there was a real lack of... just put a foot in, I feel like you're going to let Nikita Parrish drive a bit too much. Even Aslani drove a bit too much.
I feel like Aslani, I don't know, Aslani in the first half I felt was kind of dealt with quite well. I don't think she did excessively much. I think Paris had a few chances, definitely. I think it's just inexperience in the back line, and it shows because it used to be Leia Alexandri who had this semblance of comfort to allow them to run with the ball, but always get the tackle in, always get the stand right, so that we don't have to worry about putting that foot in early. Like having a player like Jade Rose on your bench. Jade Rose is not wait for your last second shot. She's a gamble, right? Gracie Pryor is a bit of a gamble as well. Like we don't have 2 centre halves that are going to be like waiting on every move that you make as a striker and block or slide.
But I do think that
it's trying to win the press off that extra effort.
I do think that having AG in there though, it just
makes
a ton of difference.
Yeah, I'm just glad that she's not going anywhere right now, which is like it's good to see her not injured. It's good to see her moving back her old way. I just think like we're just lucky that LCL is made up of, again, really, really fatigued end of their career players. Gioro actually had some good moments.
Gioro is so funny to me. She looks like a player who doesn't actually care about whatever system they're trying to play.
I just don't think she cares about being in the WSL.
No, I think she's just trying to play her own ball. And honestly, it does make a difference. I think that there is some energy in that midfield because of her.
Yeah, but she gave Blinkilda Brown one of the bodies of all time.
I just feel like, you know, we talk about London City not having an identity because of the fact that their personnel is so scattered in terms of where they're coming from and how they know each other, etc. But I think this is like a purely managerial choice now, where I think he's pretty much gone, all right, well, we don't really know what the identity is. Just go out there and just try to do what Nikita Paris did, what Giora did, and just take your opportunities.
Yeah, put the energy, put the effort in. Look, I don't think that they really had a chance in that game, and then the penalties at the end solidified it. Bunny, I don't know if the first one was a penalty.
Just take it.
Yeah, just take it. Yeah, that's true. But the second one definitely was. And getting pulled down by Sangare. Yeah, just again showing the levels by one of the best strikers in the league.
I just don't think London City actually have a back line.
Well, I just don't think they have a last 30 minutes, and that's what happens when you buy players at the end of their spike. It's you do lose that energy, and Jana comes on too late. And we had a few subs at the end, but nothing special. But again, while Carolyn, Hempo, Lily Murphy and Iman are all not fully fit to play, our left side will be a bit hampered, but Grace Clinton will have to do in like manipulating that like pseudo left side. The only thing I have left to say is Nikita Paris for saying that the ref rigged that game, and saying that the handball was wrong and that it was rubbish. You live in London now, so Wadbrook Street, Kingston upon Thames, place called Poor Boys, really good chips for all the salt that you were just absolutely dribbling at the end of the game. Really good chips if we ever go to London.
Do you think that Nikita Paris will score against every one of her previous teams?
Yeah, in a loss. Yeah, definitely. My God. Like, I mean, every game for her is a goal against a previous team. It doesn't really count. But that's all I really have to say. We are third in the league, which is crazy. We have no right to be, but we will take it. Around the grounds, WSL. We'll
Interesting
do
games.
Yeah. West Ham, Chelsea, 4-0. I mean, this is kind of the performance Chelsea fans you guys were desperate for last week. I hope you're happy this week, chanting in the 85th minute that the bottom of the league in this league is. Actually, we're 29 minutes in. They're shit. Yeah, we get it. West Ham are shit. Yeah. It's okay. Yes, 4-0. Beaver Jones, 1-0. Wow, what a free kick. You mean, like, that was... Hey, I told you, I said, Beaver Jones, ping. Yeah.
This is great. I was standing up and I looked down at my phone and Ben's gone, she's scoring this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, whatever. She pings it and I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was such a good free kick. Again, to have that in your arsenal, as not every 9 is a free kick taker.
No, and that's how versatile she is. I mean, we saw her play on the flank last season as well, both for England and for
but it's a shoehorn.
Chelsea.
It's a shoehorn.
No,
she ain't a flanker.
I think she's a straight up number 9.
Yeah.
Sonia is treating her like she's the first number 9 that you're putting down on the lineup.
Yeah.
And I think she's pretty much convinced anybody, any of her doubters, Serena Beekman, that she could easily take up an England spot. I mean,
But she's playing like she's an 18-year-old. Like, I know she's 20, like whatever she is, 20, 21. But she's playing like she's broke. She's playing like she wants to every game I've got to earn my meals. Like she's getting first. She like we'll win 4-0, but remember who started this? She was incredible. Then Captain does really well on the wing for that second goal and sets up JRK. I mean, I know the defenders kind of just disconnected from the game, but
I don't actually know.
But
what happened in that
JRK
goal.
literally runs past Bloomer.
Yeah.
This is when Bloomer was on the pitch.
Oh, okay.
But like literally just does this lateral like across the box run, and Bloomer just doesn't run with her, and then you see Bloomer at the end like, oh, where did she go? And it's like, well, she's scored, mate. Like,
I
nice.
genuinely think that in like training sessions, West Ham are just trained against mannequins.
Yeah.
Like they don't train against
Mannequins versus mannequins.
It's just they don't train against real humans because it's like they couldn't even. It was like they were 20 years behind.
It's so bad.
Chelsea.
It was so bad. It was painful, and then
It got worse.
It got worse.
It got worse.
Yeah. So the red card, which was the weirdest, most innocuous. Not the decision, but the actual dismissal.
Yeah, sure.
Was so weird.
I didn't even. So I saw her like walking out.
Yes, exactly.
It was Sunday League. Like she was just walking out.
But where was the card? Where was the red?
I didn't see it.
Did anyone who watched the coverage? Maybe this is a Stan Sport issue.
Well, Stan Sport barely had comms.
I mean, in our game,
Yeah,
the first 5 minutes of the City game, it was literally. I was like, are they doing ASMR comms or they just muted? But I'm watching this game. Obviously, I saw it, and that's why I messaged you. So I saw Balloon who pulls Alyssa Thompson's hair. By the way, straight red. Yeah,
easy.
Easiest red of your life, right? So I messaged. So I see her walking, but I see her. I thought she was just like walking back to her position.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I saw she was going off the pitch, but maybe she had an injury or something. And I messaged you. I said that should be a red.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, they're talking about the biggest moment of the game is the red. I'm like, okay, so she was redded, but I didn't see it, and there's no red card in the top left corner on top of West Ham's name. I was so confused. It made no sense. No. And I mean, Baloomu, absolutely disgusting behavior.
To be fair, I'm surprised that this doesn't happen in the women's game more often.
What? Just the
hair pull.
Oh, the hair pull. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, not everyone has Ashley Neville's haircut. Like, a lot of players.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's
like Trinity Rodman's Olympics.
I guess in the NWSL, it probably should happen more. But I feel like in this game, I think that shows why that shouldn't happen. It's such a when it's a nasty challenge on the floor, I've got no issue with it. But hair pulls just really make me feel sick. It's like you're just doing something. You've lost. You've lost the battle. But for some reason, the red card was all West Ham needed to defend properly. I don't really know what happened. Oh, we forgot about Erin Cuthbert's goal, where she just rockets. I mean, it would have been an unbelievable goal if she didn't celebrate.
She stopped with the cringy celebration.
The celebration was bad. The double bicep flex.
She doing?
She's also just like she was taking pot shots all game.
Yeah, exactly. And this is against
West
15.
Ham. We're 15 minutes in. Kira Walsh and Cuthbert have had about 4 pop shots by this point, and then Cuthbert hits it. And don't get me wrong, it's a great strike. It's a good goal. I mean, Chelsea. It's not just Cuthbert. It's Chelsea. They love their cringe celebrations. But you know what?
Cringe.
Good for you. If you score like that, do whatever you want. And then after the red, it took about 50 minutes for them to get the fourth. But it also took Macario to come on to get the fourth.
and Alyssa Thompson now, 5?
Oh my God,
games?
you on your 004.
I'm sorry. I don't understand what she necessarily.
What's your score this week against United?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm on Thompson Cam, right? And I can tell you they would. Okay, Guro is not the option. I can tell you that much. Guro is not the option.
No, Guro Wrighton is. No, I think she'll play a role this year, but again, it's
wing back.
No, not yet. Not Granger Ball. We'll talk about that international break.
No, I don't think she. I think that she's incredibly immature. I think that she gets pushed around a lot. And I do think...
Wait, Gora Wrighton?
No. This is Alyssa Thompson.
Oh, okay. I was like, Gura
is a seasoned dog.
Yeah, I was like immature. I was like, who's older? Who's younger than her?
I just think Thompson... I think Thompson set up a lot, and I think that setup in and of itself is starting to be like, okay, what is she now? Just an assist merchant? I don't think she's taking shots on herself.
Well, I don't know. That was a particularly weird game where she's like they need to come up against opposition that's going to test their depth. That's going to test their roster. And I think when you're looking at Sam Kerr coming on, having her one chance, that was okay. Like
it was
exactly. It was such a nothing game. Past the red card, there was nothing to learn about Chelsea Football Club in that game, and I think it sends this message to how we're going to look at Chelsea across the year, which is that when they play teams that aren't really top tier.
They'll run through them.
Yeah, exactly
it's
right.
Just obvious.
And you want to see better results against them, but again, they're not copping easy ones. And when we can kind of just move on from there when we're talking about not copping easy ones. Manchester United have conceded 1 goal in 4 games. Another win this week. They're now second on the ladder, thanks to your team.
It is a disgrace.
Liverpool United, they won 2-0 away. Miyazawa, pretty fantastic goal.
Yeah, it was a great shot.
It was a deflection off the cross, and then she just whacks it top in.
Well, no, Jess Park made a great darting run.
Yes.
To cut it back.
Yes,
to Miyazawa.
that's what it was.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and she had the same chance practically like 2 minutes later.
Yeah, but it was it went the other. She went the other. She went.
No, she went the same
side.
Yeah,
or just hit the post. Yeah. But she just had a really good game.
I don't think Liverpool showed up to this game, honestly.
Yeah, but again, Liverpool and we're coming up against LCL and Villa, actual opposition. They're coming up against the bottom
Gazball.
two. Yeah, Gazball and Skinnerball. Lizzie T sets up Ella Toon. Very average goal, nothing special. Again, more Liverpool's ineptitude to defend.
Rolfo more minutes as well.
Rolfo start, very good. She kind of played a bit of everywhere, to be honest. She was in left back. She was further
I like
up.
that. Use her versatility.
Yeah.
She's basically one of the best chameleons on that left-hand side.
I wonder how she's actually going to play on the left-hand side when they come up against Chelsea next week.
Well, I reckon it'll definitely be. It won't. I don't think she'll be playing wing back.
Yeah, exactly. I think she'll have to move more centrally with Olme.
Or even further up.
Do you think Sanderberg will play left?
Yes, I definitely think Sanderberg has been. I hate to say it. I think she's been a very good player.
Yeah, of course.
This season for them.
I think the left back position is always. I mean, as we've said, has been starved in the WSL as a whole.
In women's football.
Yeah, but I think she's definitely making a case for especially for the first 5 weeks as the team of the season so far. Again, Gareth Taylor still idealistic.
Yeah.
No pragmatism.
It's the type of football that he played with you a lot.
Yeah.
With a completely different team.
Yeah.
With a team that, they need to kind of grind out results.
Yeah.
And right now they're not showing any semblance of a team that, is willing to put in a defensive effort for 90 minutes and then just try to score on the break or just keep it at a 0 or just try to get a result. Try to get a result.
Yeah. It'll be an interesting look at the end of the season when we talk about the Taylor signing.
Oh, he won't be there by the end of the season.
Yeah, but it's just it wasn't just this again, and obviously it was an impulse decision, and I don't know. You think about what's happened to Liverpool Women's Football Club in the last week, what it means for them to have someone to look up to in that position and guide them through this season. I want to see
a very young team.
Yeah, they have a young team, but they also have players that you'd think that you can put down to mount an effort, not necessarily against United, a team that's a little bit more mature, a bit further along in the developmental phase, but when they're coming up against opposition their size, the Leicesters, the West Hams, you'd expect them to put something on the table, especially Gareth Taylor isn't one to flatten against worse opposition. He's the one who's usually the big stack bully, and let's hope that. I mean, I don't want Liverpool to go down, so I want to see some sort of resolution and fight from them. Brighton and Everton.
This is a tough game for me to watch. I was watching this alongside your game.
Yeah.
This is a tough game for me to watch because I was looking at that Brighton attack and going, this is everything that Arsenal need. It's just a directness. It's a willingness to attack.
Yeah. What do you and see? I didn't have a fuss at all. I want Brighton to win.
I mean, I enjoy watching Brighton. I think Adjaman getting her first goal. I'm really
Yeah.
happy for her. I mean, she did basically a Stina impersonation with that goal.
But how good was Fran Kirby to get so the tackle, so the
effort,
run back to get
exactly.
the tackle, then keeps going, whips it across. Kafaji, I don't know how she gets it across to Adjaman there,
The
but
head just like a boom down.
she's just mate. Rosa Kafaji is on demon time.
Yeah,
she's trying to make Renee look bad. It's
I
so
think-
good.
I think Kirby, I think Kim, I think these players, they are a perfect case study of just how like great these players of that era are, and just how they age just like fine wine. It is the experience that Fran
Kafaji ain't old.
No, but Fran Kirby.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to see Fran play more minutes, but again, you can only get what you get. You can only get what you get. The question will be is when they come up against when they came up against us, they used her in the first 45, and it worked. But again, the question was that second 45, we just kind of walked all over them by the end. When they're coming up against the big four, put it that way,
they'll need to be better defensively.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think their clean sheet was. I mean, yeah, they did cop a few chances to Everton, but I felt like when you're looking at like Snoyce wasn't presenting the most dangerous of chances. They weren't. I don't know. Again, it's another case where Vignola she's
doing a Vignola.
Yeah, she's hampered into these positions where she can't separate from her defenders.
But it's
well
like,
enough.
who else do they have?
Yeah, but that's on the manager.
Yeah.
That's on him to be able to facilitate other avenues to goal that aren't them two. Because once you lock up them two, there's not much Everton are offering on other sides of the field. I think Fernandez is good at holding down the forts centrally in midfield, but when you're looking at how Everton need to play, they need to have other avenues of goal, even like whipping the ball, getting the ball further forward to allow them to press deeper.
Well, one of the great things about their opening game was just the impact of Claire Wheeler playing further up. I think she's just too deep.
Yeah, again, and is that a lack of experience in midfield? Is that not their midfielders not having the best communicative efforts at the moment, and maybe it's an opposition thing. Again, styles make fights, especially in football. I think it'll be exciting. It's always exciting to see Brighton, like the Fran Kirby effect will be interesting to see against your team, against Chelsea, when they use that 45 minutes of Fran Kirby.
Would you like her to start, or would you put her on?
I think it depends on the team, but for your lot, definitely the last 45, not the first, because that's when you're most vulnerable. And against Chelsea, I think you just need to swing the dice early because I don't know. I think you're better to punch Chelsea early and get like a 1-2, maybe 2 goals, and then try and fight them off. Then already be down 2-3 goals early without Kirby, and then try and fight it with it, and then it'll be 3-1, 3-2. But I think that's all we really have to say about Brighton Everton. Leicester Spurs, well, we nearly saw what we wanted. But look, it's again a consolation from Leicester at this point after Tanberg really basically just had the easiest chance from 6 yards. Ball just fell to her.
It's the adaptation to the league, though, I think, which is important.
Yeah, three. Is that three goals for Tanberg this season so far? Getting close to the top of the list, alongside Aggie Beaver Jones. I think she has 4.
Vignola's still there.
Vignola has 4, which is crazy. And Marnham as well. Holt. What a goal!
I mean, she has to start. I was going to mention it later, but she has to start.
That was
her
an
first
absolute
start this season.
Yeah,
she has to.
Yeah, I think she's cemented her spot in the team. Samanen plays that beautiful pass to her, and then she could have passed it around her, like just side-footed it, done whatever. No, decides I'm going to chip you. You're finished, Leipzig, Red Bull Leipzig. No, it got done. I don't know. There wasn't like. Again, it's one of those moments games. Was there anything else you wanted to pick out? This is a game
I feel like that Spurs possibly could have lost or even drawn last season.
Yeah.
And I think we mentioned it last week, but I think this just goes to show how much when you put effort into making signings that actually impact these type of, relegation fodder games, Spurs are pretty much, I think now, Like, I don't think they're going down.
Yeah, no,
For
definitely
all
not.
my hatred.
Yeah,
I
well, I
don't think
mean,
they're
it's
going
hard when they're fifth now.
Yeah.
But I mean, my thing about Spurs is that, again, what I said about Everton is they've found new avenues to goal,
Yep.
right? So Holt may be playing centrally. She makes deep late runs for a midfielder, and she's got the ability to put the ball in the net, and in different ways. So last week against us, that rocket again, a consolation, 87th minute. It shows versatility. It makes defenders go into games and say, hey, Holt, you can't let her shoot from the edge of the box. You can't, and now you can't let her run in deep and chip the keeper. And now goalies will be mindful of that, and then she'll side foot it, and everyone will be like, oh, well, that makes no sense. Like the content you have that's readily available. That's what managers use most, right? That's what S&C coaches go, oh, this player has this move and that move. Like, we're only going to go off what we see. And I think that it's exciting to see that Spurs are one of the teams in that middle of the pack.
It's not exciting. It's very upsetting.
No, but it's, I mean, for you, but they're fine. There are teams that are genuinely finding new ways to score goals and showing that young signings, especially from the Scandinavian leagues, are going to do the business.
I'm just happy that there are more better teams than there are. Like last year, I think we saw more poorer teams than we saw good teams.
Yeah, maybe it's maybe it is that. There's no middle of the pack. It's just the pack.
Yeah.
Before we keep going around the grounds. We're gonna go to the two big games that are coming up this week in the WSL, which is Chelsea and United, and Arsenal City. Yeah, so it's basically the Big Four clash. I know it's not. It's actually, you're ruining this, by the way. It's no longer the Big Four clash.
It's the Big Four plus Arsenal.
Yeah, it's third
plus the European
third v
champions.
sixth,
Yeah.
and 1v2. How do you see? Let's do United, Chelsea first.
I think this is the best opportunity United has had, bar an FA Cup, to beat Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this in like they're going to, scrape a 1-0. I genuinely think if they can get all the cogs working, their defense and their offense, they could very much easily not breeze past this Chelsea team, but I could see a comfortable 2-0. Would I like it 2-0? No. I would like both of these teams to like spontaneously implode on the pitch. But
surely you'd rather United win because they're more likely to drop points.
I think in the long term United will struggle with,
especially with Champions League.
Yeah, I think they'll struggle to keep this momentum early. I think we saw this last season as well. But in terms of like a genuine title race, yes, I'm wanting to see Chelsea drop points.
Yeah.
I think it's also the same to be said about any opposition going up at Chelsea right now. I just think that they're gettable.
100%. I think United are going to try and hold again. They don't concede many, and I think Chelsea score early. So I think I don't see United scoring against Chelsea.
I was going to say I could see Mark Skinner just close
I
himself.
think it's going to be 1-0. I think it'll be a Chelsea 1-0, and we're all going to be really, really sad.
This might be also like a Chelsea 3-0. For all like
it
for all
could be a
purposes.
smack. It could be a smack, and like everyone goes, you know what? Like this is the team that's going to win the league.
I think if they convincingly beat United and then in the next few weeks beat Arsenal,
consistently.
I think then we're probably going to see one of the great seasons by Chelsea.
Yeah, and that's a terrifying precedent.
upsetting.
I said they win the Champions League. They might.
No, they're not winning the Champions
They might just do it all. But then the reason we have our Viv and Viv up here, right? The double Viv is because it is the Viv derby.
Yeah.
It is the Arsenal City. I've decided to go to Sydney this week because we can't be in the same state.
No, unfortunately, yeah.
But yes, I don't know. Personally, I don't see this game going well for us. That's
great news for me.
Yeah, I know. I just think if Brighton and even LCL had periods of pressing success, I feel like Renee's moments of press are going to work really well, and they're going to stick with that. You guys have a great, unbelievable record against us, and Stina Blackstenius
If
has
she
an
doesn't play Stina, Renee, please. It's one of Jonas's only moves.
It's like guaranteed success against us. She loves playing City.
I do think, though, this reeks of early last season, the first game.
The 2-2.
I
love that 2-2. I honestly, that's one of my favorite games of all time. It was so good. Just like the quality of goals in
I think the quality was great. I mean,
and also just the quality of the football. Like there was actually being played at the top level. Like that was when I think of the top level of the WSL, I think of that game.
But I think right now Arsenal really are going to try find form over result. I truly believe that. I think what we want are goals, and I think we'll be far less concerned with necessarily the defensive efforts. And that's not to say that our defenders will switch off, but this is a completely different style of football that we'll be going up against.
100%.
I don't think we haven't faced a Bunny-esque player yet, other than
But Katie Reid will definitely invite the challenge on. She'll love having this game.
And I think we talk about Viv was incredibly motivated last season. I think it's a different motivation now.
I hope she's playing with that same spite in this game, and I think it will be
spiteful
interesting.
Viv is a scary Viv.
Exactly, and that's the hope. My only sad part is that I wanted. I would be more confident for this game if we had that left winger back. Because someone like Carolyn can break this game open and gets, whether it's separation against Fox, maybe it doesn't work against Fox for 15, she can just flip over to the right side, have a go against McCabe. I don't see, McCabe will put the strength on her, but she ain't getting near Carolyn. She ain't getting skin on her.
And one of the things about McCabe that she struggles with are techie type.
Exactly.
Winners,
It's Carolyn's archetype. And look, Fagino's good, but she doesn't have that same first 3 steps.
But what I think about Fagino, which I think we will struggle with.
She does like playing Arsenal as well.
Yeah, I think it's that cutback. I think it's that creativeness that she has that I don't think Carolyn has.
But Van Domselaar likes that. She likes these younger, weaker, striking players to take the long shots on, because that's how Van Domselaar builds her confidence. She needs a few saves early. Yeah. And that's what I'm worried about, is that we might get the first 3, 4, 5 chances. Van Domselaar goes into God mode, and then you guys pick 1 or 2 goals, and it's a 2-0 comfortable.
I think this game will be a really good test of the middle part of a game. I think both of our teams are really interesting in the first kind of 10, 15 minutes, but it's that mid-patch where I think both of our teams switch off, if you know what I mean. I think that's where we get the least amount of goals, and I think at the end of the day, who kind of dominates in from around 20 to 60, who dominates, I think will eventually see out the result.
Yeah, I'm saying it'll be similar to the Chelsea game. I think it'll be 2-1.
Okay.
2-1 to Arsenal.
I still think it'll be a draw.
I'm not Ian Wright. I'm not jinxing it.
No,
I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just I'm allowed to not have faith in my team. My team is not fully fit. If we had Hempo, if we had Carolyn, different story.
Realistically, I think a draw, but I also think that Arsenal are going to win the quadruple. So basically, I think we're going to win 5-0.
Nice. Great. Lovely. So that covers all we have for England. Yep. We can vamos again. Arriba. Welcome to Spain. Jesus.
Were you Duolingo there?
Yeah.
How many weeks in?
43 days into my Duolingo Spanish, by the way. As we go to Barcelona, who don't speak Spanish, versus Espanyol, 2-0.
A Catalan derby.
Yeah. A Catalan derby. And the Catalan queen doing the business, Alexia Putellas. Or actually, let's be real. Alexia's goal is Bonmati's goal. Because Aitana just absolutely threads the ball
It is the most Barca move you'll ever see in your life.
100%. Yeah. Just threads the ball perfectly to Caro. Caro plays it across. Alexia just passes it in the net. There's nothing that you can do. It's just you're watching just you know it's a goal. It's one of those plays where you just know it's going in. And then later on in the game, I think it was the 40, somewhere in that 40 to 50 range. I think it was 50.
It was in the second half.
Second half. Alexia sets up Ewa. Ewa actually sets her up twice. Ewa sprays one of them, scores the other one. Again, much better presence from both of them, two players.
Well, this is Alexia's first start this season.
Really?
I think so.
I feel like she started in the Logroño game.
She may have started last week.
Yeah.
But I think this is her... Yes, she did start.
Yeah,
But I think this is Alexia's best game.
It's her best start this season. 100%.
I think she was given far more license further up the field.
Yeah.
I think Aitana is really settling into that 8 role on that right-hand side really well. And I think it just goes to show just how good a midfield can be. And then you just look up and you have that forward line and you're like...
Yeah, and they are rotating a lot more, which is good because Ona comes off the bench.
I don't even think there's like a quality difference either.
No.
They could play like an 18-year-old in there. And
and they did. Yeah. That I forgot her name. Yeah. She's really, really good. And Patry rips. I mean, Patry, I think she just plays the woodwork challenge with herself every week, the way she just strikes posts all the game. I don't know. I felt like it's another one of those games with Barca where you don't really learn.
No one's going to remember this game.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be another game that adds to their probably very formidable campaign. I don't see them dropping points.
I only think we're going to start having questions about their league, about how they play in the league, or having more commendable superlatives to say about them in the league when Champions League comes in, because either they're going to start doubling up on games, so then we can start going, oh my god, their fitness is crazy, or more likely, especially with this weaker squad than they did last year, we're going to be looking at them and going their youngsters are running the show in the league, which is what I want to see. I kind of want to see the oldies, for lack of a better term, the senior members of the squad saved for the bigger moments in this, especially in this new league format.
And I don't think that that's actually a bad shout for what Liga FA is in terms of being Barcelona's playground in terms of how they want to play and how they want to experiment. 100%. I think Barca, kind of like with Div 1, kind of even you see it with other leagues as well. There is a massive gap in quality, and then you see the closer ties with the teams outside of Barca.
Yeah, exactly.
And you saw that with the Madrid game with Tenerife.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's weird to see, I don't know, it's weird to wrap up the league that early, but when your opposition,
you're just not taking your chances.
Yeah, exactly.
It's quite simply, you had a penalty. Yeah. The Brits had the penalty, and at this stage, I'd say that the Brits is one of their better players playing right now.
I mean, we had a whole segment last week talking about her form as you could arguably have put her team of the season so far in the Liga F.
She's the player who I would want to step up for a penalty.
Yeah.
She steps up, and it's the most yank ball penalty I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, for everyone at home, yank ball pens don't go in. It was very robotic. Yeah. There was nothing special in it.
They were outplayed by a team that had 30% possession. They outplayed
less shots, less shots on target, less chances created with half the possession, and it shows that it's Real Madrid are a transition side. They're not looking to have the ball a lot, and I don't know if it was a Tenerife coach decision, but they just didn't look like they excessively wanted to have the ball and knock the ball about. They wanted to press hard and press without the ball and command the game without the ball, which was quite amazing to see.
I just think again, Real Madrid's been playing we're in a period of transition. We have youngsters coming in. They've been playing that card now for 3 seasons. Yeah. And at this point, the questions have to be asked about what is the goal for Real Madrid, because now they're not even second. Yeah, right?
I don't know.
They are mid-table.
Yeah, 8th or something, 7th. It's crazy.
And a team like Atleti are starting to look like pre-COVID Atleti, which was,
They're looking like Real last year. Oh, it's so good. Every time I'm watching Atletico Madrid, they're just running. They're running games the way... a
cohesive system.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And that's what it is.
I mean, they kind of actually... I think they kind of... not necessarily defensively, but in transition phases in attack, they kind of give off Man United vibes.
Okay, like as in the speed of their attack, the way that they're doing it?
But also just the personnel they have.
Well,
so
we were talking about that.
yeah,
you
so
know.
Fiamma Benitez getting the brace. I mean, that first goal, I mean, I put classical music behind that first goal. The way she just shoots, it deflects off the defender, the Granada defender, and it's so slow.
It's actually just painful.
Yeah,
if you're
all I think of is that, like, when we were kids, you remember that, like, slow motion Carlton draft ad, and it's just Taness and Dorma, and it's just not. It's just the goalie dives, and you're just like, what is happening? But the second goal, she does run, beats the defender, and then the outside of the foot finish, that was cold. That was really, really clean. And again, that just shows. So, like, the first goal's rubbish, but it doesn't let her, like, she's not laughing, she's not taking it, she's not cruising the game. She's like, this is Athletic's way. We just push and we keep going. And
I think Athletic, they show in every game that they score multiple goals in there. They can go through multiple angles, like, in terms of how
and
they
multiple
score.
Goal scorers. Yeah. So one week it's Gabby Garcia getting a brace. One week it's Benitez getting a brace. Luani gets her first. I mean, usually off the bench. This was her first start. Got the assist for Boa Risa. Again, weird near post finish. Lot of questions to be had about the Granada goalie, but and then Jensen with the fourth. They've just got a lot of players in their team. They got Medina in fullback. They're just a Bartel. Like, it's a personnel team where you look at them, you're like, okay, they're not necessarily 5-star players, but there's a lot of 3.5, 4-star players and a lot of avenues to go. And that's how I see United. United aren't just Liz Turlin goal or Mallard goal. Yeah. It's Tooney, it's Miyazawa, it's Olme, Jess Park, Rolfo, or Riviere. Like, these are all players who can get on the sheet, and that's why I see it's a variety of goals.
I do think Atleti are the best chance outside of Spain, outside of Barca, to being an actual, like, a genuine challenge for a quarterfinal.
Yeah.
spot.
I think they're just the best chance of a pot 3 side at all getting a chance in this Champions League coming up. I think it was just a really, really comfortable performance for Atleti. As we vamos, Viva la France, where we're going to have a lot of fun here.
This is the best game. And I hate to say this because I hate Lyon.
Yeah, so right? Lyon PSG, the game that gets planted as a rivalry. It's actually a worse rivalry than the North London derby. Like, it's actually they don't win anything. They don't have won anything.
The 2010s Champions League finals, the penalty shootouts. This used to be like a genuine competitive tie that has now become basically like shooting practice for Lyon. Because
Lyon bought their rivalry. They brought. So if any good player plays for PSG that decides, you know what, I'm going to actually mount an opposition against them, then the Empire buys you, and then the Resistance is gone.
Well, we're talking about
it's like an episode of Star Wars where Luke becomes a Sith Lord and then murders the rest of the Resistance. Like,
basically, I think we were talking about this. It's like, how many players have gone from Lyon to PSG? Karchaoui is one. I don't think that
there's one. Yeah. One who's gone from who's gone from the dark side to the light, and they're forced to play with Mary Earps. So, you know what? Like, game's a game. But a 6-1 demolition job on I was about to say Manchester United. Because it's Mary Earps. A 6-1 demolition job on PSG. Tarsian 1-0. So how long are we going to talk about this goal? So,
I think we just have to talk about it from the perspective of Mary Earps. Who cares about the header? The header's crap.
So the header loop. No, but you have to talk about the header because that's how you talk about Mary Earps. So the header loops up
on the edge of the box, right?
Yeah. The header loops up. It is about to fall ahead of. I think is it Katoto? I think it's good. Yeah. So it does bounce, but Katoto is close to it. So you think to yourself, oh, Katoto's gonna header it,
or just touch it off.
But also, while it's in the air, that's the best time that we know as two people who try to spend their whole life away from the goals. Yeah, we're two people who are going to tell you, that's when the goalie should come up and claim it. And Mary Earps' feet are clearly have been bolted to the grass, at the Parc de Kang, and she just couldn't move. It's like she was in quicksand.
She moved, but
then she moved.
Goal.
And then she moved backwards and then fell over, and the ball was in the net already. Tarsian 1-0. I honestly, you know what? Frame the goal, I guess.
Frame. If anyone wants to go online, just search up Mary Earps on Twitter, and basically you'll see the site from where the corner is. You'll see her comedically falling down.
It was so bad. It was like the worst header, but the worst goalie, to sum it up. And then 1-1. Then they equalised, which was impressive.
And we were like, okay, well maybe there's a game now.
Luchter, good penalty. Don't know if it was really a penalty.
I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the fourth official, what the person on the line saw.
What anyone saw. It wasn't really a pen in any way, and that's me saying that. I'm usually always with the ref, but and then we have to talk about.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, we have to talk about a player we both really despise, not just as a player, but I was
going to say not just
we both nailed that. Not just everything about this player we don't like. Let's keep it at that before we spend a whole podcast talking about her. But she plays a fantastic ball.
The first goal is a good assist, right?
Yeah, it's a great ball. It's a great ball to Lindsay Heaps. Another header.
Oh my God.
All she does is header.
Lindsay header.
Yeah, Lindsay leaps. Yeah, Lindsay leaps. So that was 2-1, and then 3-1, 4-1, 5-1 was just, Corbin Schrader, hat-trick, bang, bang, bang. The first goal was,
I think the first goal was probably her best.
Oh, by a mile.
Right,
it was a fantastic shot outside the box. Again, no defense on her. The West Ham school of disconnect right there.
And then the rest was just like...
And then, the second one, I mean, look, ball gets crossed, put across. Ada heads it down to her, gives her a peach. That was really nice for the 6-yard strike. And then Chewinga comes on. She comes on and just shreds Samura. That was the right back.
Yeah.
Or she was the centre back, but they just didn't have a right back.
Well, at this point, I didn't even think they had a defence.
Yeah, they didn't have much going on. And then sets up that hat-trick goal for Schrader. And then Chewinga got her 6th because...
why not?
Because Mary Earps can't stay on her line, and she thought she was going to claim this ball, even though it landed at Chewinga's feet after the defensive effort, and then just goes over her head. And I don't know. It's hard to see one of the great English keepers.
Yeah, I think this is a really good case.
Get 6 put past.
This is a good case study of how when you go to a league that is like a far worse collective standard, your standard goes down. Yeah,
and mental.
And I don't think it's a crazy take to say, okay, so she was replacing the French goalkeeper at the time, Pignon, right?
Yeah.
So then she came into the side, and I don't necessarily think that there's been a game from what I've seen where I've gone, that's a typical Mary Earps performance. She went from, being one of the lifelines in a pretty sour Manchester United team to being the goalkeeper of a tournament in a losing grand final for England. Yeah. And then we see losing final. Yeah. And then we see these type of performances.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just... Again, anyone who goes to PSG, whether it was Olga, whether it was
where is Olga?
Or whether it's Karchawi, anyone who's done it, it's generally seen, sadly, I see it as quite uninspiring, mainly because the monopoly that Lyon hold over this league makes me think that your aspirations aren't actually with the football.
It's basically like every season they go in thinking that they're going to mount a challenge, and every season I'm far less convinced.
Yeah, and this season specifically because they're nowhere near the pack. They're not even near the pack, which is they're 8th in the league. Yeah. I want Mary Earps to play football in a way in which it will be not just conducive to her success, but I hate this word, but just relevant.
No, it'll be
be in a space where your fans want to watch you. Yeah, English fans don't want to watch you play for PSG. No offense, that's
and
just
Serena doesn't either.
Yeah,
obviously.
and I understand you are probably a bit salty about the Hannah Hampton stuff, but that's what happens. The best players get picked from the best teams.
I don't even think she's a relic of the past either. I think
she's still got juice.
Yeah, and I think that she's a type of keeper that I don't necessarily think goes out of fashion anytime soon.
Yeah.
But some of the playing out from the back as well, just passing it straight to Leon.
It's like I think that I know she wouldn't want to do this right now, and I'm sure the PSG money ain't bad. But like, there's
French.
6. Yeah, I mean, good for her. There's 6 or 7, I reckon, WSL sides who take you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, easy.
No question about it.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I'd take away Dozier, Roebuck, D'Angelo.
Okay, well,
so
there are
five or 4 WSL teams.
You're also you're a
You know what? She could keep for City. She could. She could.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't want her. But there would be an argument where I know there would be City fans that say she's better than our 3 goalies. I wouldn't want her.
I think she's a name. I think that anywhere she goes, she'll get the recognition that she rightfully deserves.
Yeah, fair enough. And that's exciting. So that's all for France. Our favorite league in the world, the Buns. So we did Bayern last week because that's what happened, and then these were the games after. Leverkusen, Frankfurt. Frankfurt down again, down bad.
How do you feel about this, Ben? It's like we jinxed them.
Yeah, especially.
Basically.
Well, I mean, again, it's the situation where their attack and their defense are just two different puzzle pieces.
2 different teams.
Yeah, like they're so I've described it as their attack is the puzzle piece where you have 4 like tongues on either side, so it's got all these connections. But there's no one to connect to. And then their defenders are the piece where there's no tongues. And they're just 4 sides, and they're like, where are we going with this? So I really struggle with Leverkusen's defense.
It's the same
not Leverkusen, Frankfurt's defense. Leverkusen were actually immaculate in that game.
I think Frankfurt just conceded the same goal, basically the same way against different teams.
Interesting. I mean, I think
I don't even think necessarily it's a high line. I just think that they get exposed when their centre backs are caught ball watching.
Yeah, but they play this very narrow 4, which is weird. But then it's. I don't know. It's kind of similar to us. They try and pass the ball around, do those nice little triangles, but also
they don't have very athletic.
But it's when they were pressing Leverkusen, they were like crowding their players, but they didn't know which of their players was going to actually go for the ball. And then once they've switched the ball across, which is kind of what happens. So Pilicic, Katarina, whips the ball over to Fudala, who we're going to talk about a lot this game because Fudala had an absolutely mental game. Scores basically. Hits the keeper, scores, rebounds, but the Pilicic didn't cross it. She did the pop shot, got the handball, fell to Fudala. Fudala scores. And then they reverted it back for the handball, that was filth. That was disgusting.
I was
refereeing.
questioning. I was like, okay, so was it because she was offside? It was just weird. It was like
it was. I don't know. It was such
she didn't want to give the goal because she wasn't sure.
Yeah, it was. A lot of decisions were wrong in that first 7 minutes, which were weird. But it got reverted back to a penalty.
And the Bund showed us why it's the best league for penalties.
Best league for penalties. So Fudala takes a pen, bang, 1-0. Then. Rutila has a big chance, like in the I think it was the 18th minute. But then they just again disorganized defensively in the press. They don't know who's committing, and they make it easy for the opposition to pass around them. And then it was Vamsa, sorry, not Filicic. Vamsa plays this peach of a ball to Fudala. She takes it down with I think it was I don't know if it was Ilestedt or one of the defenders for Frankfurt was there. She skips past her and then finishes on her left foot through the legs of the Frankfurt goalie. It was just like sublime. Like this is a 23-year-old left-footed menace, 3 goals in the Bundes this season. Like match winner in this game. Absolutely amazing player for Dala. Sorry. She was definitely the marquee player in this game.
Robbed of a penalty.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, robbed of probably a hat trick, to be honest. But game's the game. Then Frankfurt do what they do best, which is when they attack fluid, they attack fast, they attack with separation. It's so clean. Mehmedi, Freigang, and then obviously, what have we said before? If Frankfurt are going to score, or anything good's going to happen to Frankfurt, Geraldine will be a part of it. So Rutala, beautiful attacking play, shoots, ball falls to Blomqvist, goal, and then they just, I don't know, they just didn't amount much, and Rasso came on and just didn't do much that I can remember. I think it was just, it's just one of those games that, like,
I think this is a common thread for Frankfurt, where we know that their attack can be incredibly lethal and fast, and I think it can catch teams off when it's working so seamlessly. I think we saw that in the early weeks, but I think right now what their main problem is there's no real symmetry, or there's no real collective effort in every single part of the field for them. I think their defense isn't connecting with their midfield, who is struggling to connect with their forward line. Yeah,
and it's weird because you'd think that the experience of players like Freigang and Mehmeti and Illerstedt
Reuteler as well.
Yeah, Reuteler, would be enough to allow that cohesion.
Are they playing Reuteler in the right position is my question.
What, the left wing role? What would you play Freya?
I would play her far freer in that midfield, honestly.
Like the 10?
Yeah, definitely. I think because she facilitates just as much as she creates.
It's the question of where does Freigang go? I don't think she's...
I don't think Freigang has done... I think Freigang has come off a really poor, performance in the Euros, where she came off for garbage minutes. And then she is now playing and starting for a Frankfurt team where you're expecting her to get just as many goals as she's been getting for the last 2 seasons.
That's true. It's a different Freigang, different team. I think Mehmeti, Rutala, I think...
And Naomi now coming off the bench as
well. So they do have personnel. The question is how they flip and play around with it. Even Illerstedt's looking a bit like her time is coming. But there's a lot of questions and a lot to be desired of Frankfurt, which I think Frankfurt on their peak is those first few games of the season where they're packing teams in 3-4 now.
I do think that Champions League, those results early, I think it's
probably stung their season a bit.
Definitely.
So it'll take some time to come back, which it'll happen. It'll happen when it happens. We'll talk about them every week, so I've got no issue with it. Probably the game of the round.
Oh, so fun.
Werder Bremen always seem to be a part of our games of the round versus VfL Wolfsburg. A 4-2 win for Wolfsburg. I mean, a lot happens here.
It's just end-to-end football.
Yeah. And it's always because, just some of our favourite players play for both of these teams.
Exactly.
It's crazy. So, Janu Avicii Levels, as I call her now, she had this weird game because she...
Offensively, she looks great.
Yeah, and then so she's doing... So as we've talked about before, our left-back itis, we hate left-backs. This is why. So she's becoming the problem. Yeah,
which she was supposed to be the saviour.
She was the saviour. So she's skipped in and ended up setting up the first goal for Pedamores. Then... so that was the 30th minute. They're 1-0 up. Then they're 2-0 up because she scores the second goal. So she's got 1 goal, 1 assist in 52 minutes. And then in the 81st minute, she gives away a pen. So she can't defend, and she's a left back, and it's all gone wrong. Our left back itis was probably correct. There are no good left backs because Janu's playing left wing.
If anything, it did set up the best penalty that we've seen probably this whole season.
Yeah, we did talk about Larissa Mulhouse. This girl, we said she was baller watch last week because she did those step over that cookage of I think it was Lisa Dawn, but she's done it again. Another great goal. Then we have Huth. Comes out of the retirement
Again,
village.
these players.
Yeah, just runs from midfield, takes on 3, 4, 5. I don't know how many players it was. In my head, the number goes up every time. And then beats the keeper near post.
Yeah, it's also just like the least VFL goal ever. It's just like it's not we're not looking at set pieces. We're not looking at threading a ball into
Give the oldest player the ball and let them run.
Yeah.
Huth, honestly. And watching her celebrate is just like the most humbling thing of all time. It's like, you know what? Just score and score and score. I love her.
We have to talk about the pop goal.
Yeah. I mean, you mean the woodwork challenge goal? What? So the ball gets whipped into her and she decides, I'm not going to hit one post. I'm going to hit two. Yeah. So header, left post, rolls across right post, and then finishes and then does the most aura-defining celebration.
Think that she just won the Bunds.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a good celebration. They're 4-1 up at this point. It's comfortable. Amoke Papai, your sub of the week, comes on, scores a great goal. Doing the business. Again, a 4-2 thriller. We love it. Goals. Such a ripper team.
I still think Bayern will probably ease their way to a comfortable
title. Yeah, you don't think? Oh, I don't know. It's the title rate. Like I understand that Bayern are definitely the favourites. Bayern are the big ones with Champions League. And Wolfsburg will have Champions League. But the thing is, it is close at that top pack. It's literally one game from 7th to 1st.
I think what Bayern are, though, they're actually anti-Bunds. What we see in the Bunds is like chaotic goal fest.
And they're just organised success.
Organised. They know what they have to do. Like they do the job. I think that
the Frauenbunds is anti-German ball.
Yeah, basically. I think Bayern would be happy if they went the rest of the season, kind of like Chelsea with 1-0.
Yeah, they were. Look, they were really, really good, and I think it is hard to look past Bayern for the league, but it is far more interesting than like Arsenal drop points and oh my god, we're already done. Yeah. Do you want to run this show in this segment now?
As the veteran Italian football watcher that I am, look, Italian football is interesting. It's something that's very new.
The romantic game.
Well, not really. it's actually incredibly difficult to watch 90 minutes of Italian football.
Jesus, yeah. But unless Girelli's playing.
Yeah, well, Girelli's just there are some players where it's worth sitting down to watch. Yeah. And this game, the Coppa Serie A Copa, the inaugural Serie A Copa, was eventually won by Juve. It was a 3-2, it was a good game, I would say. I think it was run by the players where you'd expect. It was run by the Giulianos, the Bonaceas. I think
Bonacea's quality.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, this was a game that proved why the Italian league is incredibly there's a consistent style of play. It's a consistent formation of a combination of players. I think basically, if you just watch Italian football, you'd think that Juve is the best team in the world.
Unreal.
Because they do it every time. I mean,
it's monopolistic.
Yeah, well, it's monopolistic in the sense that they know how to do the job. Like this is now their 6th league. This is a trophy adding to their already 6 league titles. Their 4 Coppa Italia titles.
Jesus.
Like this is basically like a super team in Italy that I don't think most people are watching because it's Italian football.
Well, yeah, it's one of the leagues that gets even in Menso just gets thrown to the side more like when they play in the Champions League. And Juve, you do watch them in the Champions League, and they do have moments of success. It's just how far do they actually go?
I do like the construction of Italian football. Basically, it's a bit like the NWSL. You have your like geriatrics who are like closer to a nursing home than a football pitch, and then you have like the children. And I think that in this game, and particularly in the games of note for Juve, for Roma, I think even for Inter as well, who have a very similar squad. I think it just shows that those 30-plus-year-olds, we saw it with Lindsay Thomas, she got the winning goal. That they are the difference makers. Yeah. And they're very reliable. They know the league very well. One of the things about Italian football is that the players stay. Yeah. The Italian players stay, so there's a very consistent style of football as well. Leah Volti, she was able to claim her first trophy with Juve. I think
How many minutes did she play?
She played none, but I think she's taking on, you're dying, she's taking on the mantle of the Swiss player who's just there for the PR and then gets the trophy at the end of the day.
Okay, yeah.
Look, this is, to me, the Copa was interesting. I think it probably reflects what will be a very consistent, typical Serie A league. I don't think that there's going to be anything different. I think Juve will probably win. I don't think the other teams are necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to come back to it if there's any mount of a title race.
Promo watch, Ben.
Yeah, exactly, that too as well, especially with your Chids and
Layman.
Yeah.
What's her name? Who else went there as well? Lagazzo as well.
Yeah, Chloe Lagazzo. Yeah, there's a lot of I was going to say talent, but just like a lot of names that are more relevant to our care and WOSO that need to be addressed. But again, we cover so much here. We only have so much time. Someone pay us and we'll do the Italian league,
DAZN pay us.
Yeah, DAZN pay us. Or just anyone. It doesn't have to be DAZN. It doesn't have to be them. But we're gonna arrivederci to the Italian league, and we're gonna move to our Benchwarmers Awards. We do this every week. We're gonna go over the awards again, which is our Never Bench Again, our player who usually is benched, has been put on the field. He shouldn't be benched again. That's pretty simple. Our Super Sub of the Week, also pretty simple. And then our Come on the Pod Ultimate Bench Warmer, basically the player that needs to be here instead of on the field. Do you want to kick us off with your Never Bench Again?
Look, I have a bit of a toss-up here. It's really difficult for me. I've gone for two WSL players. Yeah. Olivia Holt and Christy Hansen. Yeah. I can't choose either.
You can't choose.
Because one of them's a Spurs player.
That's true.
And the other one, unfortunately, dunked on that left-hand side against Arsenal.
Yeah.
And
surely Hansen's less personal.
I think Hansen will be less personal in the long term. Yeah. I think just maintain...
right now, it's fresh.
Yeah, just to maintain some sort of semblance of Arsenalification. Yeah. I can't go for a Spurs player, so I have to go for
That's
Hansen.
Fair.
She just made a massive impact.
Yeah, I've obviously not made mine relevant to Arsenal as well, and I've chosen Sabrina D'Angelo, the goalie who kept Arsenal from winning.
I'm challenging you on this one.
Yeah,
because I don't like the fact that you've dunked on your former goalkeeper, Ali Roebuck.
I know. So this is the situation, right? Is that I don't believe in two number twos. I don't believe in two
Coming
number
from
ones.
A City fan.
Yeah, I don't believe. Yeah, this is my biggest quarrel with AJ. Is that just pick a goalie. Just pick one. One needs to be one because one needs to have the confidence that they're going to be in the net every week.
Sure.
Then two has the motivation to try and be better than one, but the reality is that two knows its position, right? You don't have the confidence that Van Domselaar or Hampton has if they're trying to fight for their position. And there's a reason why all the best teams don't do it. Yeah, if it were the case, right? If Roebuck was as good as she was, she'd still be at Barca, Yeah. And I understand she needs minutes, but Cutter Cole isn't fighting for her position. Hannah Hampton isn't fighting for her position. Mary Earps is not fighting for her position. Endler is not. It's about establishing confidence in the player who's got the hardest job on the field by a mile.
Ali Roebuck, though, is, I think, a cup goalkeeper. I do think that. I think she's...
That's fair, but in the league, D'Angelo should start... I just think she deserved that performance, making 5 saves against European champions, keeping them from basically stopping them from getting 2 points. Is very impressive.
Sabs was in the WSL Team of the Week, so
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. My super sub was actually a flick back to the League Cup. We didn't actually talk about this game, but Sophie Haug
It was a demolition.
Yeah, 5-0 demolishing for Liverpool. They won, and she dropped a brace off the bench.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's my super sub of the week.
I've gone for Carson Pickett from Orlando.
Yeah.
Look, Orlando needed the points. They did, and she came on and pretty much immediately. I mean, she came on the 45th, got a goal within 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I think she's a player that's very reliable. She scored even in some poor losses, but I think she's a chameleon. She could play fullback. She could play on the wing. I think she did the job, and they really needed those points.
Yeah, 100%. And then our favorite award, we don't have a unani like last week, though it easily could be.
Yeah.
I've chosen Balumu.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, I think she only speaks French, so we might struggle there.
I'll do my Duolingo class.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll try.
Well, I might
Well, I mean, look, you have nothing to do this week. You ain't playing, and you might not play for a few weeks with that performance.
Well, I might ask my come on the pod to teach me French.
Oh, Jesus.
Because Mary Herbst is my come on the pod.
Fair enough.
Look,
Pretty self-explanatory.
I really like this kind of trend. Every generation has like a standout keeper who just like crushes out.
Yeah.
And I first it was, the famous Hope Solo, right? Now it's Mary Herbst.
Yeah, no, I 100% understand. Yeah. I think both of those picks are just one crazy, stupid decision that was absolutely unwarranted, and one of them was Balumu. But no, it was I
don't know who the PSG second goalkeeper is, but they should be knocking on the door.
Yeah, my God, their number 2 might become number 1 very soon. But shout out to all of them, to be fair, just being great. You know what? Your Benchwarmers Awards are coming in the mail. That finishes us up with the awards, and now we move to Leggy's NWSL Watch.
Look, this week was... Look, I love this week. This was a great
Why
week.
is this week good?
Because there were no draws.
No draws. Well done.
Guys.
Yeah.
The agenda. It took us 5 weeks.
Yeah.
But the agenda finally worked.
5 weeks?
Yeah.
I thought it was 3.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. It feels like 5.
It took us a while to get here.
No draw week.
No,
this is crazy.
It took us a while, but we got here.
Yeah.
Basically, no draws. Teams getting read their final rights.
Yeah.
And no penalties.
Final rights.
Yeah, and no penalties for me to joke about.
Jesus.
NWSL Week 22. It was what I love about Yank Ball.
Yeah.
We had players running it back to 2019. Rose Lavelle, Gotham.
I did see Rose Lavelle
3-0.
was cold. I'm surprised she wasn't like your never bench again.
Yeah, look, she could have been, but I think she is a stalwart in that Gotham team. It's just been injuries that have kept her out. But this is a 3-0 job now without Esther. So they played Esther for the first 45.
Yeah.
Then they took her off. Yeah. And then they went on to score an extra 2 goals.
Really?
Yeah.
Without her?
Yeah, without her.
Wow, Jesus.
So, I mean, it was...
Again, when you take some of your marquee players off, it allows everyone else to shine.
But this is a team now that I think is like so ready for the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think this is the most confident I've been in Gotham. I'm a Gotham appreciator, so I'm very confident.
Fair enough. Yeah. Love that.
I think, I mentioned it earlier, Orlando got to their first win in what seems like probably a decade, maybe more.
Yeah.
They got her first goal for the Pride as they collectively woke up for their 2.5 month coma that they've been in. So
that's 1 goal for 1.5 million.
Basically.
Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're in trouble. They are in trouble. I think they're
still in the playoffs. They're still in
that 8. But they are in trouble because there are other teams that are coming up, and it's that kind of middle of the pack.
Yeah, they are separated. 2 games away from.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah, I think. Look, Racing have practically dug Angel City's grave if we're talking about a team that just, is completely out of the race for me.
Out of the race.
Yeah.
Out of the racing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Which is like a team that coming into this season, I think expected a lot. I think their fans expected a lot.
Yeah.
Angel City, I mean, they're nowhere near it. I think they're a team that had made the playoffs every season that they've been in it. I think this is pretty much a failure from their institutional standpoint. But
not coping with the losses of personnel, games, everything.
But you know what? They're still getting investment every week. Just search up Angel City and it's like new investment.
Because the collection plate comes around in every game.
Basically.
Praise the Angels.
Yeah. Look, Gift Monday. She handed Washington Spirit the
goat.
ultimate gift,
The
right?
goat.
Yeah,
She is such a demon.
She is okay. Everyone talks about Trinity Rodman and
Monday Miracle,
but
baby.
it is basically Gift Monday, and
Hattie.
the fastest hat. So consecutive playoff spots now they've sealed from this hat trick. Which is like one of the fastest, if not the fastest.
It was so good. It was so fast. It was just By the way, Spirit. I think we spoke about this earlier in the week. Barring a Pride like Martha Miracle, I think Spirit are the only team that really have a chance against Current.
Great.
Like they're the only team where you look at their opposition, they're up front, their firepower, and you think, you know what? On a given day, they could actually do it.
I think the only thing that what the other teams have are like they're very distinct styles of play. They know what they want to do. Gotham really want to attack. They want to play a specific style of football. Yeah. I think what Washington have is just like they have an all-roundness, which I think something like KC.
Yeah, it's just sad that it's. I mean, again, it's Kang's original child.
Yeah.
But game's the game, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Gift Monday, just doing Gift Monday things.
Yeah, there were other games, but we'll just breeze past them. No one wants to talk about Bay. Seattle.
Why are we here? What's the point of NWSL Watch if we're skipping past games?
I don't care about Bay.
This is the NWSL Unwatched.
I watch all the games. That's the problem.
Okay, there you go.
But I am a Seattle Reign appreciator because I mean there was a period in time where this game, Seattle Courage, would be like the creme de la creme of the NWSL. But I can assuredly say that NC Courage specifically might be the greatest feat of football capitulation in the span of 5 years. This team was dominant, like dominant. Yeah. And now they're like a shell of that team.
Yeah. Where are they sitting now?
Are they out of the 8?
Or?
I believe they're 10th.
Yeah. But you said that this is that pocket of teams popping up.
Yeah. Right, that they get through. But if they do, it is by the slimmest of margins.
Yeah, and it's not the same personnel.
No, it's like Orlando get through or someone like the Courage get through or like a Racing.
Yeah. Is it do you think it's their fault that they're not the team that they were 5 years ago?
Well, I think
again, other teams upping their players.
Well, I think it's a bit of a mix between like transition. I think there's something to do with the soft cap. I think it's to do with trading. Yeah. I think that they were really I think they were really hurt by the movement away from the team. They lost so many good players.
Of course, it's a tough league. Any league with a soft cap really just becomes a conversation of what teams can do to ultimately hold a semblance of success with longevity, I guess. Is that
that's it, guys?
That's Leggy's NWSL Watch.
I am not looking forward to next week. There are some real dead rubbers.
There's going to be some draws.
No.
Yeah, that's the game's the game. But no, you don't know what's in it for you next week. That's the beauty of football. Yeah. Sometimes you come in and you go, dead rubbers become beautiful diamonds. We're moving on to What Would Kang Do?
And this is a special What Would Kang Do.
Yeah, number 5. So we've made it to number 5. And I've made this clear that every 5, I'm not going to do a story. I'm not going to do history. You don't have to get your textbooks out.
Me specifically having to get my textbook out.
You're off the hook here. Yeah. I just am going to do a song. I'm just going to do a song every 5. And this song...
I just get to watch.
Yeah, exactly, basically. I write a song about Michelle Kang and what she means to football, but through song.
I don't think you'll escape the maybe in love allegations.
Yeah, well,
do you love her or do you hate her?
Part of the brain that loves someone and the part of the brain you hate someone are so close to each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, to be fair, without her, would we have a podcast?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to, in order for you to hate your enemies properly, you have to know them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
we're going to invest in a women's football club?
I mean, not yet. Not with the money we have. Yeah. I don't know many clubs that are going to want to take our money.
We'll trade a football shirt.
Yeah. Our money is collateral in kits. Great. But yes, I've written a parody of the classic 1998 hit, Mambo No. 5 by Lou Bega. And I'm basically, I mean, it's gonna tell you the story of Michelle Kang very simply. I wish I could close the computer, but I can't remember the lyrics to it perfectly. Eventually, there'll be a point where I can do it without
terrible
it.
artist.
Yeah,
man.
I know, but you're just gonna have to bear with me. But ladies and gentlemen, this is What Would Kang Do number 5, and it goes like boom, 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 ba-dum, boom, 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 ba-dum, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many more teams do you want to buy? She need the security, cyber, and financial. There are so many rules, but she really don't want to play by them. She is the queen. There's no one else in the game like young me. She bought Ingrid, Tegan, Eula, and Maria. And as she continues, you know they're getting sweeter. So what can I do? I really beg you, my lord. To me, she's taking down the holiest sport. But everything goes, it's all good. Let her dump it so we can talk shit and pass judgment. A little bit of Washington in her life. A little bit of Leon by her side. A little bit of sport wash, all she needs. A little bit of work in London City. A little bit of finance in the sun. Some media glaze her work all night long. She'll buy a few more teams because that's the plan. A movement, not a moment. Michelle Kang.
Well done.
That's all I've got, really. But
By the way,
yes.
I have heard this song before because Ben has been making it for what, a month?
I've made a few songs because we'll have one for 5 and 10, and every 5 will be a song. And that's why there is a guitar in the corner. Eventually, the guitar will come out. Like it isn't just there for props, but yes, I had to change a few lyrics around, and obviously have to add the movement, not a moment.
Well, I mean, in our lengthy phone calls, you usually just do go out into song anyway. Sometimes, like just walking and you just start singing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that it's I mean it's the thing with that I like about football is it's not just about the players and the performances. It's about the chants.
Yeah, of
it's about the songs. I feel like WOSO is somewhat behind in the chanting.
No, are you serious? You're talking to an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, here we go. She's going to tell me about Shake It Cal Dente.
Shake It Cal Dente might be the best thing that's happened to the Beatles.
Sorry, I can't compete with Stina Black Stanny.
What about giving a Canadian an ABBA song when we have about 10,000 Swedish?
Yeah, exactly. So I am competing with hard content, but I mean there will be more chant based content when my players that I have chants about start playing well. But yes, that is my What Would Kang Do Kango number 5, as I've called it. But yes, Michelle, that one's for you because it's what you need and it's what you deserve every week. It's respect through disrespect.
She invests in women's football. Why doesn't she invest in women's football podcasts?
Oh, mate, you know what?
I'll never say anything bad about you ever again, Michelle Kang.
We are done for another week, which is crazy. Thank you for listening. Please follow us on all our socials. So we're on Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Yes, that's the one. We'll be back with weekly content every single week.
Unless we kill ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, no, kill each other.
Oh my days. Fucking Christ. Oh my God. We didn't script that in any way. Please rate us 5 stars. So we don't do that.
No, we're gonna kill each other.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
I mean, Arsenal played badly, but it's not that bad.
Thank you for listening. And this has been Benchwarmers Awards podcast. Thank you so much. The fuck are you doing?
I had the joke planned out as well.
Oh my God. Oh my days. Oh my God. was so nonchalant.